Welcome to Electric Evolution with Liz Allan. This podcast explores the transition to net zero and the systems driving real change in how we move, live and power our world. Every week I sit down with the people leading that change, those offering insight, innovation and impact in many ways people don't fully see until they hear their stories. If you're ready for real conversations that inspire action and drive change, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey. And let's cut through the noise and build a better future together. Hi everyone and welcome back to Electric Evolution. Today I have Gill Nowell with me, who's a wonderful person, and I don't know how she does all of the, she's just such a happy, joyous woman, and we've had her on the podcast before. Gill, thank you for joining me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm delighted to be back and chatting with you, Liz. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to introduce you properly as well, because you are founder of Hosted by Gill and also founder of the Global Women in EV Day, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So yeah, thank you. It's lovely to talk to you, and I'm sure, well, I've already seen you once this week anyway, haven't I?
Yeah, we caught up, didn't we, at the Powered Up conference, which was fun. Yes,
we did, absolutely. So let's start off a little bit. I mean, can I just do, and I know you've been on the podcast before, but let's just talk a little bit about some of the things that you've been involved in and why Global Women in EV Day is so important to you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Liz. So I've been kind of working in and around e-mobility since 2012. Spent a number of years working on a series of EV grid integration projects. Co-founding director of Electric Vehicle Association England as well, and I've done a few different roles over the years, and I suppose sometimes I've been the only woman in the room. And I've also had, my own personal experiences that have been a little bit tricky at at times as well, as a woman working in this industry. So as I was on a run fairly recently.
You do a lot of running, don't you?
I do like running, yeah. And that's when I have my ideas, and sometimes I've forgotten them by the time I get home. But this one really stayed with me, and I thought, actually, is there a day dedicated to women in EV in our calendar? So I got home, madly checked, and no, there isn't. So of course we have International Women's Day on the 8th of March every year. We have days sort of related to EV in general, but nothing for women in EV. And so I've done something about it, and really Global Women in EV Day, it's a new international movement. It's about celebrating, elevating and accelerating the women driving the transition to electric mobility. So for me, it's about visibility, it's about momentum, and it's about action, and it's about recognizing the amazing women who are already driving the transition, and it's making sure that the next generation of women see that they belong here too. And I really appreciate that it's never just about one day. It's about every single day across the year. But Global Women in EV Day it's a global moment to make women's leadership visible. It's to lock in commitments from companies and from individuals and non-profit organisations who are coming on board, and they are making a pledge. And I hope that it's by virtue of those pledges, whether it's setting up a mentoring scheme, whether it's really making sure that panel, that event will be truly diverse and balanced. It's about making women's voices heard and helping them feel comfortable and have the opportunities to progress as well.
I love this. You're just the passion, for those of you who are not watching this, that just looking at the passion, well, actually you can hear it in your voice. It's just there, isn't it? It's so important what you're trying to do. I think the idea of empowerment and inclusivity. Everybody who knows me knows that that's what I champion. I champion inclusivity, and I know that's what you're doing as well. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. And I really feel, I think that the e-mobility industry is still relatively new. It's still quite nascent, which gives us a great opportunity because we have that opportunity to now to build equity into the very heart of it. And we know that when that happens, we see better business outcomes. Women are still underrepresented in leadership and technical roles in e-mobility. There's a gender pay gap of between 15 to 20% in energy. And I think that's probably readily translated across to e-mobility. You know, we're seeing that women are promoted less often. I'm hearing anecdotally from other women that they are being overlooked for training opportunities in their organizations, or they're working in quite toxic environments. And it was last year in the run up to International Women's Day, I heard on the radio that according to the World Economic Forum, we are on track to reach global gender parity by 2158. And that is 5 generations from now.
Oh
And
my
whilst
God,
that's
yeah.
looking at the whole picture, again, going back to the fact that e-mobility is still quite a new industry, we can do something about that now. And also, 40 in the UK at least, 49% of driving licenses are held by women. So
Yeah.
half the market is female, but nowhere near half the power is. And Global Women in EV Day is about starting to shift that to make a difference.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, like you said, it isn't just one day. It's about kind of making sure that 20. What did you say? 2150. What?
2158.
I mean, that's bonkers, isn't it? That's just bonkers. And I know that there are certain pushes in the wrong direction at the moment from various parts of the world, but how do we make this different? Do you know what? I'm going to start off because I know you've got a story here about the 10th of February, and I think that's part of how we make this different, isn't it? And why you set up on that date.
Yeah, thanks ever so much, Liz. Whenever I sort of share this story, it gives me goosebumps because I wanted to choose a date with meaning. That was really, really important to the campaign. So it's the 10th of February because the 10th of February, 1883, is the birth date of an American electrical engineer called Edith Clarke. And her work was so pioneering, it literally laid the foundations for the electricity networks of today.
Wow.
So born in 1883 on the 10th of February, Edith Clarke. So this is why Global Women in EV Day is on the 10th of February. And it was just really important that to have a date that with meaning, and with sincerity. So, and harking back to my early work in EV, which was all about EV grid integration, it kind of feels, I feel very much aligned with that as well, because without those robust electricity networks, essentially there is no transition to e-mobility because they literally underpin that whole movement.
Because electric vehicles were around. Were they around? I might be wrong about this, but electric vehicles were kind of around before combustion engine vehicles, weren't they?
Yeah, it was, whether it was just at the turn of the century, sort of early 1900s, it was around that time. And yeah, I think the first electric car was sort of around the same time or even before the first petrol car.
Yes.
But and actually the marketing back then was targeted at women, I believe, because they were so much easier to drive, so much easier to plugged in to charge rather than having to crank something to get it going. But yeah, at that time, petrol won the race, but no longer.
Yeah. But we're doing, and I'm going to love saying this. We're doing full circle and going right back, aren't we? So anybody who doesn't know the name of one of my businesses, then you won't get that. But but just getting to that stage and actually getting people to recognize that, come on, it was here first. But so it doesn't, don't go ruling it out, because we've heard things about misinformation and all sorts of things going on at the moment. And do you feel that that has an impact, the misinformation, for example? And we'll talk about the day itself in a minute, but does misinformation have an impact, as much of an impact on women as men, and sorry blokes who are listening, because I might just be a one-off, and I don't know whether you are, but I will not just take the word of one news, article. I'll try and drill down to whatever their answers are for, if somebody puts something out and it just sounds a bit suspect. What do you think? Does it affect us more, or is it the same? Or you tell me your thoughts.
I feel like, and I don't know the data behind this, and I may be totally wrong with this, but I feel like when I sort of dip into the comments associated with a media article that is spouting misinformation about EV, I think probably the majority of those comments come from men.
Mm,
So I think it's hard to say, really, Liz, honestly.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, difficult. And I think it's also important to say, especially when we're, for me, talking about Global Women in EV Day, is that our male allies are absolutely welcome and essential that they come along with us on this journey as well. So yeah, really, really keen to kind of talk about our amazing male allies as well, because without their support, we're not as strong together, are we?
Exactly, exactly. And I was going to say, just going back to what I was mentioning about kind of that misinformation. One thing I'd say about cars, they're quite divisive, aren't they? The conversations that you can have, and actually, if you think about the Women Drive Electric Facebook page, there's a reason why it's there, and there's a reason why it's a growing community, because, like you said about comments on various posts, that's why you don't want to be shouted down, do you? Or made to look like an idiot just because you might have said something that somebody doesn't like. I mean, it happens everywhere, doesn't it? But
Yeah, it does. And I think being faced with a little bit of misogyny here and there is, personally for me as a woman, I have to be careful not just to accept it, because it's just something that's happened throughout my life, and so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it, but it's not good enough just to accept it as the norm, is it? I don't think.
Not anymore, and actually it never was, but definitely not anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I come from a Yorkshire family, as you probably can tell originally, and yeah, it's funny when I moved down south that even the north-south divide, that there is a thing. I'm not trying to say for everywhere, but maybe it was just my family. Kind of there was a bit of misogyny in there, and it's hard, and we've got to break out of that, because we're in 2026, for goodness sake. Let's just do that. So let's talk about the day, though. The day itself. Where is Global Women in EV Day being held?
Okay, so it's a global campaign, a global movement, and we're having a UK launch event, which is
That's what I
really,
was
really
meaning. The
exciting.
launch event,
Launch
not
event.
just the day.
So whilst we do have partners, we have partners in South Africa, we have partners in Australia. So it's not just UK and Europe based, but I'm so grateful to be able to hold a launch event in the UK. So it's taking place on the afternoon of the 10th of February at Octopus Electroverse, headquarters in London. And I can barely believe it, Liz, but it's sold out. It was sold out with a month to go, which is just blows my mind. And I'm so grateful for all the
Amazing.
support. But I think it just speaks to the appetite and the need for this kind of initiative, which is fantastic. And so hopefully most of the founding partners will be there. When I started talking to sort of prospective founding partners about coming on board and joining Global Women in EV Day as a founding partner, you know, as you do, you go through a few slides, and some of the points had an asterisk by them, like launch event, asterisk, subject to, launch video, asterisk, subject to, and I didn't even put website in there, you know, because I thought that no way, no chance. So I'm over the moon that we are holding a launch event. I'm also very overexcited at the fact that we have a launch video that is coming together, which we'll be able to hear all our founding partners' voices, including yours, Liz. Thank you
I
so
know.
much. And
I
I've
was going
just
to say that, but I thought I won't say it just yet.
uh,
And it's me, Michelle.
so thank you to Liz. Thank you to Michelle for coming on board as ChargeWise CX, as a founding partner to Global Women in EV Day. I'll let you tell everybody what your partner level is. But I've just seen the teaser launch video, and it's I can't wait to share it with everybody.
I just think I'll have to let everybody find out what we're actually called. But and for those of you who don't know about ChargeWise, basically we set ChargeWise up, myself and Michelle, who has been working with me tirelessly for the last 4.5, nearly 5 years, bless her. So we're going to be your one of your founding partners, which is amazing. So yes, there's a little video there, but I suppose really I can say from our point of view, this is about championing, besides championing, get my teeth in, neurodivergence as well, because both Michelle and I are neurodivergent. And like I said to you before, you know, kind of inclusivity is really important to me. And it's not just about women as a whole, it's about the different types, you know, of issues women have, including neurodivergence. So yeah, so there's a number of areas that you're kind of a number of areas that we're pledged to kind of support because of this, haven't we?
Yeah. Which is amazing, Liz, and thank you so much. So I hope the launch is we're going to have some amazing speakers there. We're going to have kind of some really I hope really enlightening discussions around sort of industry voices. So as a woman, how to build resilience within your work environment, because there's a lot of flux and there's a lot of change at the moment in the e-mobility industry. So let's hear from some people who have kind of been through that and how they came through it. And we'll hear about sort of mentoring and navigating that change in the industry. And we'll hear from women who are really powering the transition, actually, and some, I would say, future female leaders as well, which is really, really exciting. So one of the things is that I really, really hope that as the campaign grows year on year, you know, we will be able to use it as a platform to really encourage the next generation into e-mobility, whether that's, you know, women with a STEM background or not, because there are, oh my goodness, I started writing down a few weeks ago all the kind of different roles in e-mobility, and it's pretty much endless. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not technical, but it takes all sorts of skills, all sorts of women, men, everybody to make the working world of e-mobility go round, doesn't it?
absolutely. And I mean, it's so, you know, it's not just, it's no more, it's no longer about people getting under the bonnet of a car. You know, as in the automotive side, and so because e-mobility is so important, and there is, like you say, there's so many moving parts and aspects to it. You know, and then we've got the emerging tech side of things with AI, and you know, there are, and I've said this to other people before, there are going to be, you know, jobs that we don't even know about that the future generations will be kind of taking up, won't they? So it's really exciting, it really is. And it's not just about one sex or the other or whatever. It's about everybody coming together and being part of this transition,
Yeah, yeah,
and not, like I say, about not excluding anybody, just giving everybody the opportunity
yeah,
to
that's
be
right.
involved.
And I think when teams are more diverse, when there are more women involved, then ultimately it leads to better business outcomes because we bring a different perspective. And if we go back to the fact that 49% of all driving licenses in the UK are held by women, we're half of that sort of product audience. So
Exactly.
we need to be involved from the design process, from ideation, and whatever that product, whatever that innovation may be, because we bring that really really important perspective. And I think as well when we're as a woman in the workplace, making sure that that job profiles are are tailored to be as accessible and encouraging to everybody as possible. That's got to be absolutely essential. We're going to hear some really interesting things from somebody involved in recruitment at the launch event, which I think will be really, really fascinating. We need to make sure that policies around encouraging women to stay in the workplace, so returning from work after maternity leave, for example. I had the most amazing experience when I returned to work both times after having my children. Both companies that I worked for at the time just fully embraced the fact that I was a nursing mother, and so made facilities available to kind of ease that transition for me. And honestly, it meant the world. It absolutely meant the world to me.
And I'd said to you before, didn't I? I had the opposite of that after I had my son. So, and I know that things still happening, that, where women don't, I was going to say, in a way, it felt like I was being written off because I was becoming a mom. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to stop that. And things have moved on. I know they have, but in certain aspects, we just need to get people thinking slightly different. Don't write us off when we're a parent, because, like you say, of course we want to, be with the children, but you can share work, and it doesn't mean just because you're a parent, either male or female, that that you should be written off whatsoever. And that in itself, because that's the other thing, isn't it? It's kind of like the impact of kind of negativity on people when they become parents. So we've got to change that rhetoric. We've got to move it forwards. And I know that that's what you're doing to make sure that it's all of this is lifted up in a positive way.
Yes, absolutely is. Absolutely. And I will say as well that for anybody who can join us on the 10th of February, we do have a very exciting announcement to make. So watch this space. And I'm so sorry I can't say
Ooh.
anything about it right now. But yes, but
Ooh.
will suffice to say there will be lots more to come.
So are you able to tell us, besides Chargewise, who some of the other founders are? Are you able to share that a little bit?
Yeah, I can, and forgive me if I don't remember everybody right here, right now. But I'm going to try and slightly go through the alphabet with this as well. So we've got Amplify EV, Auto
Fantastic.
Trader, Electra Connect. I'm going to go off the alphabet now. We have Electric Vehicles UK, Electric Vehicle Association England. We have oh gosh, maybe I'll tell you what I'll do, Liz. Let me just bring, because I really want to remember everybody.
I've put you
So
on the spot now. Sorry,
many.
that's really mean of me, isn't it?
No, 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 it's fine. So Zemo partnership, we have Electra Connect, who I may have mentioned. We have Sinewave. We have Victoria Hutton, because we obviously welcome individuals as well.
Yeah.
Jess Shanahan from Jet Social. We have ZapMap, fantastic. We have EVCI Global. We have the EV Cafe. They haven't been announced
Woo!
yet. We have the Fast Charge. Tom Riley's fantastic
Oh, he's amazing.
newsletter. Yeah, he really is. We have Izu. We have Green Cab. They are based in South Africa. We have Green Fleet. They chose, I love Green Fleet's partner level is Emerald, so they came on board as an Emerald partner, which I think just suits
Love
them down to
it.
the ground. We have Sunbathe Social. We have EV Fire Pro, who are an Australian startup. We have Octopus Electroverse. They also haven't been announced
Yeah,
yet.
that's very exciting.
That's very exciting. Of course, ChargeWise CX, Liz, that we've already talked about. We have the EV Musings podcast coming on board.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
yeah,
Young
and
Gary.
yeah, do you know what? And there are many more
Got
actually, Liz.
loads. That's
So
amazing. I
so
love
it's
it.
yeah, really, really, really blown away. Really pleased, Liz.
What a
And
start to a fantastic campaign. My goodness me. So go
yeah,
on, besides that, besides who you've just said who's on board, what does success look like for you? Because I mean, just those names you've just said, it's fantastic.
yeah, I think if we go kind of maybe if we take a crystal ball, look 5 years from now, I'd see that Global Women in EV Day is has been a really great enabler to equity and diversity in the industry, and women kind of having their voices heard, taking their rightful place at the table is just the norm.
Love it, honestly. So what, just out of curiosity, because obviously we just talked about young Gary from EV Musings. Hope you don't mind me saying, Gary, that you're young still, but hey, whatever. Um, but what kind of feedback are you getting from the lovely chaps out there?
Yeah, really positive, really, really supportive. They've tended to, they people have been coming to me to get involved, and I think it's just wonderful. And I'm going to be so excited to see the final launch video, actually, Liz, because we will hear all those voices in that video, and without exception, women and men alike, everybody is sincere. We'll hear from so many people across so many organisations and individuals, about the pledges that they're making. And for me, this is where, we can start to see some traction. So
Love
yeah,
it.
it's exciting.
And I was going to say, Michelle, my co-founder, is coming all the way down from Northumberland, from Amble in Northumberland and I haven't seen Michelle for ages. We work remotely all the time, so she's just booked her train, and it's going to be lovely. I'm really looking forward to the event. It'll be absolutely fantastic. So what if we I've just said to you about moving forward. Do you feel that there's a potential for, because you mentioned earlier on about women being missed for, kind of training opportunities and things like that. How do you think that Global Women in EV Day kind of works towards it being, helping that move forwards, do you think?
Yeah, I think through the pledges, and again, yeah, I really appreciate that it's one thing making a pledge, but it's another thing to
Right.
carry to follow through with those pledges.
Mm, mm,
So wouldn't it be nice if the partners were to give us an update, whether it's this time next year or through the course of the year, actually how's it going? What changes are you making? How is that mentoring scheme coming along? Um,
yeah.
you know, so I think, yeah, on that side of things, that's how we start to see change being implemented.
Oh, I think that's a really, really good idea. It's kind of like a little mini audit in a way, isn't it? Just making sure that these things are happening. I mean, so yeah. Do you see that there might be other potential events during the year? Besides your little mini audit, do you think there might be other things where you can have case studies coming through and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think certainly there'll be, I think hopefully events, certainly lots of content being shared across the year as well, just to help really keep that momentum going and to keep inspiring, people to get involved and to, to carry the message through as well. And I will just say I had this crazy idea, so tell me what you think. So
Go
make sure
for
I've
it.
got the right one. Right, okay, can we see this?
Oh yes, I can
So
see. Is that you're hosted by? Is that? Oh, is that? No, hang on. Is that Global Women in EV Day badge?
no, it's me.
Hey,
You see, because I like my pin badges.
I know
Um,
you do,
so,
and
so
it's good.
I'm thinking about I may order some to give out at the launch event, and then I'm thinking, would it be a nice idea just to really encourage people to pass them on? So let's see how far we can get those pin badges across the world.
Oh,
So and a nice
ooh,
selfie with the pin badge
oh my God.
from anywhere in the world that you may be, or you may have passed it on to somebody who's traveling somewhere, and can pass it on. So I think that would be quite a nice thing to do, just to really
Oh my God,
help.
that's an amazing comms piece, isn't it? That kind of goes back to, you remember, and I know it's not good for the environment now, but do you remember they used to, when you'd set off Chinese lanterns or something like that and see, oh, the balloons and things, and see where they actually land. Do you know, and I know you wouldn't want to do that now, but what you've just said, what a fabulous idea. Oh my God.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably do that. So that'll be
Mm.
fun as well, and it just gives people a sort of a bit of a tangible way to get involved, doesn't it? So
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, now you've got me thinking, is there a way to put a little tiny QR code on there so people can just go link to somewhere? But yeah, I mean, it could be like a little handover and kind of mini pledges and all sorts. Oh my goodness me. I love that. Because I was gonna say, if we kind of look at the wider picture for the EV sector, you know, and I said there's going to be roles that will come into the sector that we've not even thought of. Yeah, but I mean, so you don't have to have an automotive background to work in the sector anyway, do you? It's not, so you're going to have newbies coming in and people who can move from one job to, kind of one sector to another. How do you see that kind of moving forwards?
yeah, I think going back to when I was kind of writing a whole list of of roles in e-mobility, what obviously marketing, procurement, legal.
Mm,
Um, there's just communications. If you're a good communicator, we need you. Um, if you can bring people together, bring people together for projects and so on. So there's a whole project management aspect as well, event management, um, PR. There's tons, and then there's the whole sort of technical side as well, which is immense. So I think almost any skill, any type of individual can get involved
mm,
in
mm.
e-mobility. And most, not everybody, but most people have a view on whether it's a car or whether it's an electric HGV that's gliding along the motorway next to you, and it's everybody has a view. And new technology as well. We've heard a lot of there was quite a lot of talk at the event that we were at this week about wireless charging. So
Was.
some people, really, really, this is the future. Other people,
Mm,
well, yes, let's hope so. But maybe a few things like standards and so on have to fall into place before that
yeah.
can happen. And these things take time. So, and I think the innovation side of the and data and AI innovation, there's always something new to uncover. There's always something new um, to kind of to try out. And we probably need people
Mm.
for that as well. So then you bring in the kind of the consumer behavior side aspect of things, and that's a whole different thing as well, isn't it? So I think for me, working in e-mobility, it's just an incredibly exciting space. And I think for women, the world's our oyster, really.
I am going to ask you a question because it suddenly dawned on me you still got children who are at school. Now my son is at uni, so it's slightly different, but have you got what? Have they both at secondary? I can't remember. They one at primary, one
So
at secondary.
they are, yeah, they are both now at secondary school. Yes.
So I suppose it's those. I'm just thinking about the formative years, you know,
Mm.
and because I personally think that the younger generation see men and women very different, maybe to kind of my generation, maybe yours. I don't know, but I
Mm.
was going to say, really, how how can we encourage schools to be involved in something like Global Women in EV Day? Because,
Mm.
so can you go to your school, and all of the people watching and listening go to their school and actually talk about it and the reasons behind why it's so important?
I think that's a brilliant idea, Liz. And I know that there are, the schools hold careers fairs, for example.
Mm.
So, kind of integrating, Global Women in EV Day and just kind of helping all those amazing students um, understand that, there's opportunity here. So yeah,
Can you
what a
imagine?
great
'Cause,
idea.
yeah, it'd be wonderful. I remember Lorna McAteer from National Grid talking about when I think she took an EV to a school, and not talking about the sector as such, but actually talking about the EVs themselves. And the kids were kind of climbing in and out of the cars and thinking how wonderful they were. And like I say, it's those formative years, isn't it? It's getting them to see what this is. Look under the bonnet. I'm not
Yes.
calling it a hood because I'm just American, but yeah, look under the bonnet, have a look at where the charging cable is, and talk about energy. And there's just so many things that can be brought into that school, isn't there? You
Yeah, yeah,
know.
absolutely. When my children were both at primary school, I took my Nissan Leaf into school and did a talk with the lovely James McKeemy many many years ago. But and my Nissan Leaf was in the playground, and we talked to them, and then we went out and showed them the car, and we played the game of can you spot the exhaust pipe, you know,
Did
with a
you?
red
Oh,
on,
I love it.
and is this car on? Yes, I'm not sure whether it was at the time actually, but anyway, basically, helping them to see that it's silent, it's quiet. Isn't this
Mm.
great? So, and I did get a small number of parents in the days and weeks afterwards coming up to me and saying, so and so came home from school, they want an electric car now, thanks to you. So, I hope that was a good thing.
Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I mean, like I say, I think trying to get kids involved and through going into schools and just talking about. I just think e-mobility in general. It's a really good thing, isn't it, to actually be talking to the younger generation who are you know going to be the ones. It's going to be a very different world, isn't it? With kind of e-mobility, and especially it's like my son. He's still not passed his driving test, but actually, when he as in when he decides to, he can drive an electric, and he doesn't have to go back and drive a manual if he doesn't want. Do you know what I mean? And actually, your kids are probably never going to drive a manual, are they?
No, no, no. My son is he will be, gosh, 17 in this December. So,
Oh, maybe he will then. Then it's
so
possible, possibly.
but it's a decision to make, really, for
Yeah,
him. So
yeah.
he may want to learn to drive a manual just to kind of cover all bases. But yeah, we will see. But I will be encouraging him. I'll be teaching him in my car, which is electric, of course.
Love it. So I'm just going to ask you one final question then. So has Global and Women get my teeth in Global Women in EV Day, has the initiative itself, has it changed how you see your role as a leader in the sector? Because you're kind of charging ahead, darling.
Gosh, what a question. I'm genuinely so grateful for all the support that Global Women in EV Day is is bringing to all of us, really. It's a campaign for everybody. It's a campaign for all the amazing women in EV. It's a campaign for the women who are, coming through, whether that's schools, universities, apprenticeships, it's for them as well. And also it's to really try and help, I hope, the women who have told me their stories and shared their stories with me, that have not been so positive, oftentimes. But let's try and do something about that. And I think that's Global Women in EV Day is about shining a light on all the amazing women who are driving this transition. And it's about encouraging and inspiring the next generation of women into EV on the 10th of February and beyond.
Absolutely. And I will put the links in the show notes as well. But I want to just say to you, as a personal point of view, because I know that you won a champion award at Green Fleet Awards last year, didn't you? An EV champion. Just to say thank you for championing I can't even speak today, championing this initiative, because it's amazing. And having you behind it, anybody who knows you know how genuine you actually are, and you're a force for good, which is brilliant. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Liz. That's so kind. Thank you.
And everybody, seriously, check out Global Women in EV Day. It's on LinkedIn. You'll see all the, yes, I know you can't make it now because there's a waiting list. Actually, no, you could sign up to the waiting list still, but just check it out and have a look. Wait until all the videos come out and you'll actually see. But just try and, even if you're putting your own pledge together, I think it's a fantastic idea. So just start thinking about it. But thank you to Gill. You're just such a wonderful person. I've loved having you on here again. And good luck with the day, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you so much, Liz. See you soon.
See you later. So thanks to everybody to watching and listening. Check it out. I'll put the links in the show notes, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching Electric Evolution with Liz Allan. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're a charge point operator, local authority or stakeholder in EV charging, I'd love to talk to you about our Charge Point Evolution framework. It's designed to help you create a seamless EV driver journey, boost utilisation and maximise your return on investment. Alternatively, if you know someone who'd be a great podcast guest or might be interested in sponsoring an episode, you can email me on liz@fullcircleci.co.uk. Thanks again for watching.